It's really important to use a good quality interface when recording any of this sort of gear. The OctoPre just gives you the clarity that you need for that.
It's all gone kind of dark. Like, this is what happens when I get left alone. It's quite sad. Yeah, so we're at the Mute Studio. Over here we've got the synth section. So we've got some modular synths, the System 100M, some Eurorack, Pro 1, Roland 808. We've got the Mini Moog, and this is pretty cool. This is called a Polyvox. So the Mini Moog actually used to belong to Gary Newman, and the Polyvox has been used on loads of records, including Black Cherry by Goldfrapp.
Mute is special because it's linked to a legendary recording label, and the studio is great because it's got loads of rare synths and reg outboard effects. So artists really want to come here to work because of the selection of gear that we've got, and it's also a really great sounding mix room. It's difficult in a room with so many synths because you kind of want to have it all plugged in at the same time so that you can have that really smooth workflow. So it's really great to have a recording interface that has loads of inputs so you can work really fluidly. Most artists want to kind of have an idea and then get it down as quickly as possible before that idea goes away. But with the Clarett+OctoPre, and then it has the expansion of the OctoPre, we can add loads more I/O and have even more gear going in. You always actually need more I/O than you think you're going to, especially if you're using things like outboard effects. So with the 808, I know that I like to use the OctoPre on it quite a lot to kind of add a bit more of a unique vibe. So I've got the 808 coming in on channel 4 of the OctoPre, and I've also got the OctoPre on the insert, which is really nice because I can A and B it and decide if I want it with the OctoPre or without. Yeah, it's nice to maybe even record both versions if you kind of feel like you've gone a bit too crazy with it. High quality DA is really important when using outboard gear. Having something like the Clarett+ gives you the clarity that you need for that. As well as producing and mixing, I also create and write music under the name Lalif. So I personally really like to use analog gear. It's to do with like the tactile nature of actually playing something, and actually if you're sending MIDI through a synth, for example, you can then play with like the filters and stuff like that throughout a whole track. And it's really great to have something like the Clarett+OctoPre where you can capture the high fidelity of that. So it's quite a small studio, but there's lots of different ways that we can work in it. So we do a lot of vocal recording here as well as reamping, so having a sound, sending them out through the amp and then recording that back in. I've been enjoying using the air button as well. It adds a bit more sort of brightness and clarity to the sound, so I particularly like to use it on vocals, for example. It's something to sort of try A/B it with and without and see what it sounds like. Using the Clarett+OctoPre with the 8Pre has been really easy to get set up with. Sometimes with interface software it can just be really clunky and difficult to use, but I found the Focusrite control software really simple, and it's just got the bits that you need to know, and you can pretty much set it up and then forget about it, which is great. You could really easily just put the OctoPre and 8Pre in a flight case and take it anywhere, and then you've got 16 channels of I/O that you could record in any sort of crazy location. So yeah, I look forward to doing that. I've been recommending Focusrite to a lot of people because of the reliability and sound quality. I don't really know any other companies that have that for the price, so it's always been kind of top of my list.